themarshallman.com.
People already have some sort of a framework of reference in the mind, either from the martial arts background or from the spiritual background. So it'll be a mistake if people try to accumulate the knowledge I'm trying to impart into people, and try to fit in your own established frame of reference. You'll never fit. Okay. And second, everybody starts from the mind, and if you're trying to use your mind to understand what I'm trying to teach you, you cannot. Okay, so that's why to everybody in all my seminars, workshops, the first thing, there's only one simple rule in my seminar. You just try to listen to me, to what I have to say, try to understand it. And then after you understand my words, reflect back in you, okay? And then you validate. So the only rule in my seminar, also in the master program, is that you just listen to me, come to me with an empty mind, put aside what you have learned before, but come to my session with an open heart. So believe me only after you have validated my words in you. Okay, so it's the essence of the art is about self-validation. Okay, this is the key. And once you can begin to release and feel, learn to feel and sense, because this art is everything about you. You cannot learn from me. You cannot copy me. It doesn't really matter how hard you tried. You cannot become the Bruce Lee number 2. Stupid. You are already the one and only in life. You know, what's the point for you to practice so very hard to become the Bruce Lee number 2? Stupid. So by the end of the day, who's practicing? You are practicing. It's your mind, it's your body. You are the only one able to make any difference in you. Nobody else can do it for you. You see, including me. You see, but just that I'm the one of the very few people. And not only did I have the luxury to be born in a family with a strong martial arts background, Chinese Kungfu background. My father was a Grandmaster, and I literally dedicated my life to this art myself. You know. So that's why I'm trying to teach, because of my sense of mission to keep this the essence of the art accessible to people, instead of for me trying to prove to everybody else, hey, I'm in any way better than any of you. Okay, that's not my intention. Okay, and my personal the most important breakthrough I ever had in my life started from the moment when I literally took a vow to myself: stop fighting. This is the essence of the Chinese words for martial art. Wu, composed by 2 parts. It means stop spearing, stop fighting. Okay, I literally took a vow to myself from that moment onwards: I'll never fight people. And I did that from my heart. And that's why I can settle into this internal energy dimension. And the deeper I settle in, magic begins to happen. And I feel the touch of epiphany, like all the questions I had to myself about the essence of the art, I can see the questions, the answers, popping up from inside of myself. I see. Okay, and yeah, it is still going on, but it's now getting more and more stable inside of myself. So that's why this is exactly why I can demonstrate with such a spontaneity, and then this is why I can talk to people with such an intuition. You see?
Interesting. This concept about what you said about to stop fighting, I guess this is really hard for people to understand, because you're not only talking about like physical confrontation and striking each other. It's actually a lot deeper than that. This goes very deep into the mind.
I think I'm not alone. If you're proficient with the history of the true Grandmasters, regardless of systems and traditions, and by the end of the day, almost there's no exception. All of them become spiritual. Okay, so once you tap into this energy dimension and evolve deeper, then it's not about martial practice; it's a spiritual practice. Okay, like for instance, the essence of Kung Fu, the only consensus from across disciplines and traditions, the Trinity of Kung Fu is essence, energy, and spirit. Yeah, Jin, Qi,
Yes.
Shen. So, but the thing that not many people really capture the essence of it. the first people in Chinese history who proposed the theory of the essence, spirit, and essence, energy, and spirit was a gentleman called Tan Chao. No, he had a book of resolution and the book of dissolution, Hua Shu. So he was the first one who proposed the theory, and the key word he used for essence, energy, and spirit is to forget. Okay, forget about the essence. You are the energy in animation. Forget about this energy. You are the spirit. The word spirit it needs a further definition, because most Chinese people they took the word spirit as a equivalent of some deities or some gods out there, aside from you, the one who creates the whole universe. This is a misinterpretation. The word spirit is composed by two parts. It says anything and everything as an extension from you. So, in the to the essence of Chinese Kungfu or the essence of Prana dynamics, there's no other divinity, there's no other God but you. It's up to you to realize it. So the ancient Chinese word for spirit is simply the synonym of manifestation. So it's about what is it that's in animation in you? What is this ascension? What is the ego I? What is this manifestation? If I'm not the mind and not the body, who the hell am I? Start from there. But this starting point is not easy for people to grasp, especially if you try to invoke your mind and try to think for yourself. You'll never get it, okay? Because it's exactly the mind that blocks you from it. It's exactly the activity of the mind that which distorts your perception and conceptions. You see?
So this would imply that we are one with everything. We are connected to everything around us.
What is in animation in you and what is in animation in me, it's exactly the same energy source. It's called consciousness. But here, the consciousness, this concept of consciousness is difficult for the mind to grasp, because this conscious presence is like the mysterious gateway. Once the consciousness begins to be in function, it's a substratum of everything. So the nature of this conscious presence is universal. It's not individualistic. So you cannot really understand it. But without this conscious presence, you cannot be even alive. You cannot have the luxury to have this moment. You see? It's already there. It's always there. Because without this presence of this conscious presence, there can be no possibility for any life experiences. But once you release and open up your mind and open up your heart to this reality, there's no room for fighting. There's no room for separation. You see, you'll be living in the present, and with an open heart. Okay, you'll be true not only to yourself, you'll be true to each and every, to all the happening on the screen of this manifestation. You see, your mentality will become different. Your picture will become different. Okay, so but that's why the mental energy and this mind, the mental energy, the mind-body energy is actually intrinsically one. It is only when the mental energy is on flame, and then it comes the conception or feeling and sensation of self-identification, and that's the emergence of ego. But people have to learn to deflame the mind, first.
When you say deflame the mind, you're also talking about dissolving the ego. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the essence of relaxation. My body relaxation simultaneously. So this is ancient. This is why the Tao, in the Taoist, in the evolution of a Taoist alchemy, there's a conception called simultaneous mind-body modulation. Yeah. So intrinsically, to embark on this internal energy work, for you to settle in, we try to align this mind-body energy, into the state of oneness and settle in. If you're in the mind, your mind cannot sense this. But if you can deflame your mind, then once you activate and energize the fascia is the energy pathway inside of the body, and then you'll begin to feel and sense it, on a step-by-step basis. Okay? So that's why, to me, prana dynamics is the missing link to both the internal martial arts and the spiritual practice.
It's interesting that you talk about the fascia and you say that it is the energy pathway of the body.
Yes.
Does that mean that in prana dynamics, do you teach exercises where you develop the fascia and increase the connectivity?
Actually, there's nothing much of any physical exercises, but it's more mental than physical, actually. So, but I will give you in the master program, I'll guide people to evolve on a step-by-step basis. That's why I deliberately designed the program with a 2 weeks break from session to session, so that once you have the conceptions and I give you the prescription and you do the homework, practice, feel it and sense it, and then evolve yourself on a step-by-step basis. So in 6 months' time, if you're good and if you're diligent, you should be able to demonstrate to some extent. You should be able to feel and sense the difference that I try to invoke in you. Okay, in 6 months. Yeah.
That is a big achievement because, most people talk about when you train an internal martial art, it takes many years, even up to 10 years or more before you see any type of progress.
No. Actually, the picture to me, because I've been teaching for more than 10 years internationally, actually, it's even ironically, it's better for people without any previous exposures. Just come to me with an empty mind, open heart. Then it's like as if I'm a painter. If you come to me like a blank canvas, I can start painting immediately. Okay, but the difficulty is that for most of the people, if you have already been trained martially or practice meditation spiritually in any other systems, and then it'll be difficult for me to guide you, into this, because the first thing I have to help you to erase all the pictures on the canvas first before I can start to paint. This is exactly how I feel. So it's the quality of the mind that matters. If you're someone with a true and open to yourself, okay, after so many years of practice, I am not making progress. Okay, don't panic. Okay, you're not alone. Even I myself, I didn't evolve into the state, in a year or two. I've been practicing this art literally all my life. But if you can put aside what you have learned before, and come to the prana dynamics, on a step-by-step basis, I will guide you to evolve into this internal energy dimension. Okay, prana means life energy. Dynamics. The animation process, life energy in motion. Okay.
And what percentage of the teaching that you do in the master program is practical and theory? How does that work?
No, theory and practice, they are one. So if you separate them into two, then chances are you'll fall back to the stronghold of the mind or your mental imagination. But it's important for you to use the language and use the mental conceptual understanding to establish a picture in you, a conceptual framework of reference in you. Okay, this is what I want. This is what I want you to understand. And once you have the picture in mind, practice, validate. So knowing and doing, they become one. Instead of just accumulating knowledge in your brain and you don't practice, you'll never get it. Okay? If you know something that you cannot do, you're not making progress. So I give people very precise conceptual understanding, and I give them very precise exercises for them to practice. So once after the sessions, okay, I understand how I said, practice. Better with a practicing partner. Feel it, sense it, and then evolve yourself, from session to session. If you're diligent enough, if you're serious about this art, you will surprise yourself in 6 months' time. You'll be different.
And do you find that the students come back with questions after the 2 weeks? You know, when they meet you online for the next session, do they come back and say, this is my experience, is this correct? Or is it
Yes,
wrong to do it this way?
yes. Whenever you have questions, you have to try to find the answers for the questions from inside of yourself. And then if you still cannot find the answer, then people are encouraged to ask me the questions, anytime, and or share with me the practice videos whereby I can help people to diagnose where they got it right, where they got it wrong, and then I'll try my best to feedback to you on an individual basis. And if you feel like you're welcome to share those correspondence with master program participants, because your experience might correspond to other people's experiences as well. So I do try to foster a sense of family ambience amongst the master program participants. And I encourage people to help each other to evolve for the better. So if you can have some understanding partner to help you to evolve together, that will make this journey much more enjoyable. This is what I'm trying to do.
themarshallman.com